Welcome to another exciting Torah Watchman edition. Only available on the Your Ben-Emmett YouTube channel. Yes, and they're perfectly free, okay? They're perfectly free. If you like it, you can download it. If you don't like it, well, you can go find something else, right? They have reruns of the Three Stooges. You know they were Jews, so you can look at that if you think that's funnier and more animated than me. I try to have a lot of fun here with Torah Watchman, right? Welcome back to my home. This is my synagogue. Most observant Jews have a formal dining room. It's hard to find how homes these days that still have the old dining room style. You need it to have an 8 or 10 chair Henry VIII table. I mean, elongated table. When a Jew moves into a home, if it's previously owned, it's a chance you may not have it. Anyway, it's the heart and soul of my home. Just like a mikvah is the heart and soul of a synagogue. So what am I talking about today? Let me give you a clue. You see these books here? This is the Mishnah Berurah. Yes. What is that? You've seen these books behind me before. I'm going to tell you what they're about. This is halakha for everything to do with Holy Shabbat, the Sabbath day. What the prohibitions as reviewed by the sages of old, and some modern commentary on newer things since the adulteralized era and the age of technology and Wi-Fi and internet and smartphones and all those good things, okay? You are indeed a unique person if you don't have one computerized device in your home. Did you know your smartphone is considered as a mini computer? I've been in information technology for nearly 30 years, okay? I've done this for a long time, so consider me as your subject matter expert, at least on the field of information technology. What does that have to do with Orthodoxy? What does that have to do with Judaism? What does that have to do with the Torah Watchman series? Well, the title of this Torah Watchman edition today is How to Shabbatize Your Home. I didn't say sabotage, I said Shabbatize. What does that mean? Okay, in the healthcare industry, and I have a master's degree in this, believe it or not, the most important mission statement of every single hospital clinical professional is finding out how to raise the quality of life for every patient that's treated in their care facilities. If their quality of life is not being raised, if it's being lowered by negligence, incompetence, or just making dumb mistakes, then they're violating their mission statement of do no harm, right, to the patient, right? The physician does no harm. You can go to Socrates and everything else, read about that. Where am I going, okay? In Judaism, we should be thinking about increasing the quality of life for Jewish living in the 21st century, especially for exiled Jews living in the diaspora, the Ashkenazim, the Sephardi, living in different areas, every country in the world, there are Jews living there, okay? Altogether, about 12.5 million Jews. Most of us live abroad from Eretz Israel, unfortunately, until the Mashiach makes his name recognized among every soul on the planet. May he come quickly. So electronic devices is the devil in the details when it comes to orthodoxy, right? Some of the most obvious things, you do not drive your car on Shabbat. Okay, 18 minutes every Friday, if you're a observant Jew, 18 minutes before the sun sets in your relative time zone. You may have daylight saving time in some places in the world, like in the United States. You slow down. You slow way down. Yeah, all that cooking using your gas stove, that's done. All the showers and everything that involves hot water, you're completed with that task. Why? Because you need hot ash and probably all the cases to heat water. Unless it's an electronic boiler and things like that, you need to have a mechanical electronic timer, and I'll get to that in a moment. So my wife, she's a woman of valor, a righteous woman. She begins Thursday afternoon, I would say, and starts planning ahead Holy Shabbat, because it is our Yom Tov. It's a precious good day for us. So she gets all the clothes washed. We do all these things. These are obvious things, okay? So consider ha'esh, which is fire. Anything that has any direct or indirect influence over fire, like a spark, contributes to that violation of that mitzvah, okay? Think about the 613 mitzvot, okay? Now, you have the 10 commandments, then you have middle requirements, which are the 613, and in the weeds, you have things like the size of your dining room table allowed for a formal Kiddush meal, especially on Jewish holidays. And like I said, these blessed books, the sages, it's just it's a treasure house. It really is. It's a blueprint for success being an Orthodox Jew. Okay, as a man of science, why do I care about this? Well, it's tradition for one thing. I talk to my wife about this all the time, about wearing a hat before you go outside because you're a married woman. That's a tradition. I wear this acidic brim hat here because it's who I feel I am. It should portray myself, especially in a neighborhood with a mixed breed of Jews and Gentiles and everything. I live in an era, folks, in Kent Mill, Maryland, Silver Spring, Maryland. But there's all kinds of people, and thank God it's a mixed neighborhood, but there's a lot of Jews here too. But my neighbor, who incidentally is not Jewish, so if he sees me doing things that a Jew would not normally do during Shabbat, it impugns my witness. And more importantly, impugns the image of Hashem, right? Because I'm creating the image of Hashem. So time will leave us before we know, and it is a commodity. Time is precious. Let's get on to the real truth here. I'm going to push these books aside so you can see me, right? In another book here, this is a Talmud tractate, and I read these books. These are Hebrew to English, also has Aramaic in it too. This book is about living in the Eruv, okay? Everything you need to know about living in Eruv. Again, Eruv, for people that are not Jewish watching this video, is simply a Jewish community, okay? It has invisible walls, virtual walls or whatever around the community, markers and things like that. In other places in the world, they actually turn off electricity and they block telephones, Wi-Fi. Well, let's get to that, okay? This is an electronic device. I use this to change the video here. I was reading something, and actually, Baruch Hashem, Chabad.org has a tremendous amount of information on the subject of electronic devices on Shabbat. Okay? I'm going to read you a few things. The main thing I told you is about ha'esh. Major prohibition. It's in the Torah. An individual was actually repeatedly told not to pick up limbs and twigs and sticks. In other words, to assemble a brush pile to burn. Over and over again, he was put to death over this, okay? Because the only reason why someone would pick up an armful of limbs on Shabbat, especially when it's coming close to the evening, is for cooking or to keep warm. That's absolutely prohibited to have fire on Shabbat. Ask Moshe, a blessed memory, if you don't trust me. You can read it in the 5 books of the Torah. Also, turning on a light switch and opening a refrigerator is the most traditional thing, okay? I moved into a kosher home, okay? I moved into a kosher home in that I had the separation in my sink. It's stainless steel, and that's automatically kosher. I'm not going to get into details about kosher living per se, but electronic devices. My refrigerator is also stainless steel, and there's a light that comes on, like most every single refrigerator you can think of, a light comes on. And I looked at this light, and there's really no way to deactivate it, okay? It's screwed in, it's part of the manufacturer's assembly process. The light in this instance is actually more of a LED light or a digital light. Where I'm getting at, the lights above my head here that's giving me light and my chandelier is actually LED lights. LED stands for light emitting diode. A diode is a small electronic device that's used for controlling electrical current and things of that nature. Okay, so the light, so you either take everything out you need out of your refrigerator before Shabbat and don't open the door again because that deadly light will come on, or you unscrew the light bulb like my grandmother used to have. There actually was a light bulb you could actually screw in and screw out, and sometimes it would burn out and you had to replace it. That's what in the old day Jews used to unscrew that light bulb getting close to Shabbat. Okay, you don't want to create a light. A light is a spark. Okay, 1879 Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, and it was a spark. It was actually electrical current going through copper wiring or filament, whatever, to create almost a flame from that heated coil or whatever. And there's a light incandescence or whatever that happens in that light bulb. Okay, when I came into my house, this home right now, since I moved in, all the lights were the old-fashioned type. Okay, in other words, you put your hand over the light and you can feel heat. I don't like that. It's a waste of energy, for one thing. But more importantly, I don't like that because it is that spark, it's that ha'esh, and it's not halakha compliant during Shabbat. Now we make choices here. We turn on that power device before Shabbat, but it cannot be modified. It cannot be turned off until Shabbat is over the next day. Okay? That may be problematic. It's hard to go to sleep and you have a light on that you turn on before Shabbat. So that's where I'm going. How do you get around this? Okay? For electronic appliances and things of that nature, you have printers, you have computers and things like that. I do not use my computer on Shabbat because it innovates. It's creativity and things of that nature. You don't even write. You can use your thumbnail to mark a page and Talmud or whatever that you're reading, but you're not allowed to mark anything, okay? That's called creation. So in summary, ha'esh, creating a fire, is prohibited. Second, turning on a light switch is the same thing as creating a fire because it creates electrical current and it's a spark, okay? It's a mini flame. If you turn out the lights at night, you can actually see sometimes if you have the electrical light switch or something exposed, hopefully you don't get shot, you can actually see a spark, okay? And lastly, we don't cook because as a gas flame. There are toaster ovens that are on and they're used a continuous power kind of thing, but the power cannot be regulated. It's one set temperature, okay? So you're not allowed to create a new fire after you light your Shabbos candles after they go out. You're not allowed to use a traditional light bulb or light switch because there's a circuit that goes back and forth between those poles, positive and negative, neutral and ground and all of this stuff, okay? If you see the old circuit breakers, you literally see a big massive handle-like thing and you go up and down or whatever and this kind of thing. That was all analog stuff, okay? And it's very obvious it would violate Shabbat if you interoperate these things, okay? What I talk about Shabbatizing a home, you've heard about artificial intelligence, right? I'm not here to promote any one product above the other, but there's a device called Alexa. I don't want to say it too loud because she may hear me. She's the other woman in the house. But anyway, she will remotely control every single electrical device I have that has a computer circuitry or a little mini motherboard or whatever, electronic components built into it, a little mini operating system, believe it or not, like a electrical plug that you can plug into your wall outlet. It has Wi-Fi built into it and it talks to that AI device, okay? It's voice activated, okay? I could literally come into my home at any point in time and says, let there be light, and then all my lamps will come on, all my devices will come on, everything will come on that's attached to that AI device. This is a continuous powered device that's always on. I don't turn it off unless there's a power outage or something. Also have solar lights, okay? It runs off of solar energy and it stores that in a battery cell or something like that. I wanted to own a home that it was run by solar power, and solar cells. You know, that's all green energy stuff, okay? All energy efficiency, what I'm talking about. But does it violate the intent behind Hanukkah? And that's what I'm mostly concerned about, and I want to review a few things with you. There's exceptions to every rule about boiling water. I have a Shabbat water boiler. It's these things. When I say a Shabbat water boiler or something like that, it's certified by the Rabbinical Orthodox Council. Okay. And in fact, that same rabbinical authority actually wrote this up. I actually ordered a book about making sure you abide by, is an aggregate of all the other books I have here in modern English about how to ensure you're halakha compliant on Shabbat with electronic devices. Some people tape up light switches and things in common areas because they forget. You have guests come in, they accidentally turn on a light to go to the bathroom. Well, I don't know about you, but it's pretty difficult to go to the restroom. You don't have a light. So what do you do about that? Okay. You could have an LED light in there that's connected to an AI device, and you could simply say to that AI device, turn on the bathroom light, and then it's on. Now, back to that spark. Is there ha'esh there? Is there electrical circuitry there that literally a spark of electricity jumps for a brief microsecond from a ground to a positive terminal to allow that electrical current flow? I have an associate degree in electrical engineering, and I want to get into all this stuff. That's not my intent here, but you know how electrical current runs, okay? If you have a short, you heard a short, whatever, the wire is broken, okay? You need to have a medium for electrons, they're stripped from atoms and all of this, you know, to run through that electrical copper wiring and things of that nature, you know, to it can find a grounded source or whatever and activate a switch and all these other things, okay? Okay, a lot of information here. So am I creating anything? Am I modifying anything that's already been instantiated in my home? Am I creating a spark? Is it ha'esh? Am I doing any physical work? So these are the questions I ask myself all the time when I have these Shabbatize components installed in my home. There's money up front in doing this, okay, but a long-term dividend. How does this work? Okay, I already explained to you about artificial intelligence, okay? I told my wife every single light bulb I have in my house is not the traditional Thomas Edison one that was invented in 1879. It's liquid, it's actually light emitting diodes, okay? It has no sparks in it, okay? There's no sparks. It's a circuit relay. I mean, it's a motherboard, it's a chipset, circuit components, and all this thing. It has a Wi-Fi network capabilities. I actually have timers set for these lights. In Israel, they have these mechanical wind-up timers too. I actually have an old-fashioned wind-up timer for my porch. It has lights there, and I can actually set the timer to go off after sunset or before sunset to light out there so I can eat out there. But anyway, the benefit, I can either have mechanical or electronic. The problem is that you cannot discontinue that electrical or network connection. If it fails, it just fails and you're out of luck, right? Well, if you have smart technology installed throughout your house, you can put schedules and routines on that so that it knows exactly, more than I do. I watch the sun, I know when to daven and everything else, but it knows exactly when sunset occurs. And then the lamps automatically come on based on a routine, okay? That's how that works. This is how I mitigate a problem with keeping Sabbath Halakha rules, okay? Listen, it's not a cheat. It's raising my quality of life as a Jew in my Jewish home, okay? Okay, why should we be miserable without modern conveniences on Shabbat? Yes, I read extra Torah and extra Talmud on Shabbat, okay? I do a lot of research, a lot of documentation. I cannot use the phone. I don't go on Facebook. I don't do any of those kind of things because that's creation, that's innovation, that's modification. I don't have to do it and I will not do it, okay? Or I would empty my bank and giving charity. But anyway, I hope you like this video. Please click like and subscribe if you'd like to see other notifications on videos like this. It's very, very important, folks, and especially living in the diaspora, to be as Jewish as you can be, because the world is watching you. More importantly, Hashem is watching you. What do we do in the post-temple era in Judaism, okay? We have to show Hashem we still love him and that we want to reinstitute the temple in our neshama of our hearts, right? In the soul of our hearts, we want to have that temple. So, again, think about, there's many technological ways. You can even Google it and find it, or go on Amazon Prime and find it. There's all kinds of Shabbat certified, halakha compliant devices you can install in your home. But do you care to do that? That's the point, okay? I replaced all my light bulbs where you turn on a light switch and things of that nature with LEDs. They're much brighter and they don't create any heat. Okay, you can't go wrong with that, right? And does it glorify Hashem? I certainly hope so after the investment I put into these things. Why not have fun? Again, why not have fun? I'm not making light of our sages. I absolutely love my Talmud. Mwah! Yes, it's deliciously sweet. I love all my sages. I really do, and I learn from them. Okay, and we have rabbis today that are acting on behalf of sages of blessed memory to add flavor, 21st century technological flavor to the ancient medieval era halakha that we have today. For it to make sense, what do you do with electronic devices? Are you allowed to use an electric razor or just scissors for your beard? You're actually allowed to use electric razor, and most Orthodox rabbis approve that because there's no direct cut. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, live smarter, don't work harder. Okay, and enjoy your life as a Jew. Enjoy your life, okay? Why not? Am Yisrael Chai. Listen, God bless you. God heal you of your pain, or emotional and physically. Listen, take care, learn, educate yourself, all right? And Shabbatize your home. Take care. Goodbye.